Thanks so much for coming back to the channel. This is Sean.rampersaud here with the Mortgage Group. Today I'm going to be talking to you about should I buy or should I rent property? Now, this is an absolutely huge decision, and there's a ton of information online going around. Some people are calling themselves gurus and they're saying, no, I'm going to rent. Other people are saying, yeah, you should be buying. So what do you actually do? So I'm going to use real world experiences to explain to you the pros and cons of renting and the pros and cons of purchasing property so you can make an informed decision on if it's right for you. Now, there's a caveat in this that I choose myself to own property. I have multiple properties, rentals, owner-occupied homes, that type of thing, and I choose to do this myself. I'm going to be as non-biased as possible about this when I'm explaining the pros and cons of owning versus renting. So first, let's talk about owning a home. What are some of the things that are involved in owning a home? First of all, you're going to have to talk about some of the expenses. So first, it's the down payment. The down payment generally on most homes are anywhere between 5 and 20% down. You could put more. Generally, though, you can't put less than 5% down. So you're going to have to come up with a lump sum of cash of 5% as minimum. Then on top of that, there's going to be insurance fees that are built into the mortgage. So let's say you spend $300,000 on a property. There's probably going to be insurance fees of another $7,000 or $8,000 that are going to be built into your mortgage. So you're putting your down payment on the $300,000, and then the insurance fees are also going to be built into your mortgage that you're going to have to pay off over your 25 or 30 or 40-year term, whatever you choose. Next, can I afford the monthly payments and other costs? So the monthly payments on a mortgage are called principal and interest payments. So the principal is the amount you actually pay off per month. Then the interest payments are the interest that goes to the bank for giving you the loan. So that's how the bank makes money off of that. But those are not your only payments. So when you're doing your budgeting for purchasing a property, you need to take into consideration all of the other expenses. So some of the other expenses that are going to be involved in this are first your closing costs. So you're going to have to pay legal fees. You're going to have to pay for an inspector most likely. I don't know if your real estate agent is going to charge you commissions or not. Normally they don't on the buying side, but in some areas of the world, they do charge on the buying side as well. So you'll have to take that into consideration as well. The other expenses that are involved monthly on the property will be property taxes, absolutely, and that could be a big expense. Then you're going to have insurance on the property. You're going to have utilities on the property, and then you're going to have TV, internet, which are sometimes included in rentals. So take all of that into consideration on whether you can afford to buy a rental property or not. You need to take into consideration how long you're going to stay in this home. So everyone has kind of a plan in mind of what's going on with their life. Now, if you tell me, I'm only planning on living in this house for a year because I'm moving to Dubai or whatever that might be, or you have different goals and dreams, then buying a property may not be worth it for you because it's going to add some extra stresses on your life. So, but if you're in for it for the long term and you're like, man, I'm going to live in this house 5, 10 years, then yes, this could be a good investment for you because it's going to go up in value. That's called appreciating in value over time. But in the short term, it could potentially lose money. So if this is a short-term thing, then I don't think you should do it. If it's a long-term thing, 5, 10 years, 20 years, whatever, then absolutely, because you'll get the appreciation on the value of the property. Am I ready for the responsibilities of homeownership? There are responsibilities more than when you're renting property when you own a house. So some of the responsibilities, it's just like taking care of a car, you got to take care of the property. So the property is going to have some regular maintenance that's going to be involved. You're going to have to mow the lawn. you're going to have to change the furnace filter at a set interval. You are going to have to, I mean, if you own the property, you're probably going to clean it better than you would clean a renter. You're going to take care of the property more than what you would take care of a rental. You're going to have to paint it once in a while. You're going to have to change shingles. I mean, you're going to have to take all of these things into consideration. If you can't handle that type of responsibility, then absolutely renting property would be better for you. I have a sister-in-law of mine, and she makes a great living, but she does not own property. And it's because she doesn't want to take care of it. She wants to focus only on her career and go home and rent or live in different places if she wants to, do whatever she wants and have that flexibility. Now let's flip the script and talk about renting. Okay, renting can be good. I know it gets a bad rep from a lot of people, but it can be really, really good. So, one of the first things you're going to talk about when you're talking about renting is flexibility. Are you in a job where you're bouncing around from city to city? Because if you are, then renting is better for you. Are you in a situation, a short term situation, let's say a relationship that's getting really, really serious? So, renting might be good at that time because in the future you may want to buy a property with your significant other. So renting for a year while you're engaged, that could be a good thing. So flexibility plays a major factor. When you purchase a property, you're in it for the long term. You're not able to bounce around and go from property to property. One year living downtown, the next year living in the suburb, one year living in Chicago, the next year living in LA. It ain't gonna happen if you're owning property. But if you're renting, you could do whatever the hell you want. You could go live in Thailand for 6 months of the year and then come back to the U.S. or come back to Canada or wherever you live for the other part of the year. So that gives you that flexibility. Can I afford the rent? That's another thing. So the mortgage payments generally are going to be the same or sometimes more than what a rent payment would be when you consider overall cost. So, can I afford the rent? That's something you absolutely have to take into consideration. And rent can be expensive in some places. Some places might even be cheaper to buy a house. So, can I afford the rent? The rent should be no more than 30% of your total income. That way you can live comfortably, buy food, go on trips, do whatever you want, have a good life. Ask yourself this question if you're thinking about renting or buying. Am I okay with not building equity? One of the major benefits and the reason I like to buy property is because my payments are going to me. They're going towards my children. They're going to my wife. These are really, really important things for me. Now, if you don't care about your money going somewhere in the future or your rent payments going towards something, then renting it would be fine for you. But if you care that you're never going to pay the property off, you're always going to be paying rent, then renting is fine for you. So if you don't care, then rent. Do I want to avoid maintenance responsibilities? Not everybody wants the maintenance responsibilities. Like I was telling you, my sister in law, she does not want to do any maintenance. She just wants to focus on her life, on her fun, on her career, and that's all. And everyone's different. So that could be fine for you. So if you don't want to do any maintenance, renting is better for you than owning. The last thing is rent stable where I'm living. So rent prices go up and down every market. It depends. If the rent market is pretty stable, then renting could be a very good thing for you. Interest rates are fluctuating right now very significantly. They're going up and down and left and right all over the map. So if you kind of just want a set payment every single month, then renting could be for you. Let's say your rent is $1,500 a month. That's all it is, $1,500 a month. Utilities included, sometimes internet and TV included in that expense. Whereas when you're purchasing a property, your mortgage payments could be $1,500 a month, and then you have utility payments that fluctuate every month. In the winter months, utility payments could be a lot higher. Those are all things that you need to take into consideration. So owning could be more expensive than renting when you factor in all the expenses. So let's summarize this. Pros and cons of owning a property. The first pro is building equity. So over time, you will build equity in the property, and that money will go towards your retirement or go towards your kids when you pass, whatever that might be. Next is stability. No one can increase the rent on you when you own a property. They can increase utility payments, but if you have a set mortgage, like in the United States, you can get 30-year mortgages where the rate is the same all the time. You'll always know what the payments are. So owning can be better from that perspective. Appreciation. So the value of the property generally will always go up over time. Like you were talking 20 years ago, 30 years ago, you could buy property for $70,000. Now the minimum is $250,000 to get into a property. So property values will go up over time. You'll see some dips in the market, and you'll think, me, oh God, it's the end of the world. It's not. Over time, if you look at any chart for any city, any municipality, anywhere in the world, you're going to see that the values of property go up over time. Customization. You can do whatever the hell you want when you own the property. So if you want to tear down a wall to make it look open concept, if you want to paint a wall blue, pink, I don't care. You can do whatever you want. In a rental property, you can't do that stuff. And the tax benefits of owning a property. So, one of the major tax benefits of owning a property is that you don't have to pay capital gain tax when you dispose of an owner occupied property. That's one of the things that you should know. So, basically, let's say you buy the property for 100 grand, and when you sell it, 20 years from then, it's worth 500 grand. That means there's 400,000 in profit. If you had to pay taxes on 400 grand, they'd be taking over 50% of your money away in that tax year. So over 50%. So in this case, because it's an owner occupied property, you don't have to pay taxes. So this significant tax gain by owning property. So let's talk about the cons of owning property. One is, of course, the upfront cost, the down payment, the legal fees, that type of thing. It gets expensive. Two, less flexibility. When you're renting, you can move around, do whatever you want. When you own a property, that's the property that you own. You're not moving around. Three, maintenance and repairs. You are going to have to take care of that property if you own it. You're going to have to do painting. You're going to have to change furnace filters. You're going to have to do all these things. Four, market risks. So the market's going to go up and down over time. If you need to sell in a low market, then it's not going to be good for you. You could potentially lose money. That's why I always like to think of purchasing real estate and owning real estate as a long-term investment. And ongoing costs, of course, you're always going to have to pay more property taxes. You're always going to have to pay insurance. So there's always going to be these expenses. And those expenses can fluctuate. The utility companies can change, the insurance companies can change, and the expenses could potentially go up over time. Now, my friends, let's talk about the pros and cons of renting. First, of course, the flexibility. Like I said, you can hop from city to city, from building to building, wherever, do whatever, whenever you want. Lower upfront costs. So normally you got to put a damage deposit down. So damage deposit usually is 1 month's worth of rent, not a major expense at all. No maintenance and responsibilities. And that's what a lot of people like about renting properties, that there's not, you don't have to do a thing. You really don't have to do a thing. You pay your bill and you live, and that's it. Predictable expenses. You know what your rent payments are every month. You pay it, and that's all you have to worry about. So, predictable expenses, if that's important to you, renting could be potentially better. No market risk. You don't have to worry what's going on in the market. However, there are some major cons to renting, and that's something else you got to consider. One of the things that I've seen a ton of people in my marketplace happen is that the values of rent are so high in this market, and they continue to increase. So rent prices could increase. Your landlord can increase the rent. They can double your rent. And if they want you out of the property, they can just say, hey, the rent is double. You need to move. And then next thing you know, you're having to. So you don't have that stability of like, okay, I live here, I own this, and no one can kick me out. The landlord can kick you out with notice or with reason, and they could make up reasons. No equity. And this is a major thing if you're looking at things long term and you're investing in that type of thing. So you get nothing for the money that you put into this property. You get to live, but you don't get the money. You're paying somebody else's property off for them. And then in the end, they get all the appreciation of value. They get all of the cash flow, and they get the easy retirement, whereas you are going to continue renting. You have overall less stability, less control. So the landlord could raise the rent. The landlord can sell the building if it's in an up market and they want to make some money and get out of that property. They can sell it on you, and then you have to go and find something else. So what I find a lot of people that rent long term do is when the landlord decides to get rid of the property or dispose of it and cash out, they decide to purchase the property themselves. And usually it's always in a high market. It's always like when the property value is at its absolute peak. So you're not getting the good deals if you strategize that way. Overall, my opinion of renting versus purchasing, I choose to purchase. I like the equity. I like the appreciation of value. I'm an investor. I'm willing to do the maintenance on the property, and it really isn't that much. I mean, everyone's got a full-time job in my house, and we're still able to take care of our main house as well as all of our rental properties ourselves. I did a bunch of videos on rental properties this week. You should watch the other ones to see if renting is actually for you or see if purchasing is actually for you. I go deeper, dive into all of the reasons of why or why not do this. So give me a call anytime you have any questions. I'm a mortgage broker in Canada. Happy to get you pre-approved for a mortgage. I have the absolute lowest rates in the country, and I am the easiest way to get approved for a mortgage. Talk to you soon.